You three have another thing that's in common other than gaming is you could say you guys come from what's the correct term I'm looking for? Like
It's
nuclear families, are they called?
a non-nuclear family.
A non-nuclear. I thought nuclear families. Oh, you guys are all from a non-nuclear family, and
I believe that is correct. Y'all can fact check me.
are basically broken homes. That's the
Okay.
best way you can explain it. So you guys all come from broken homes in some way, shape, form, or fashion. And some would say people that come from those type of families have a different. They can develop toxic tendencies or toxic, attributes. Not saying I am, but some people say that.
Yeah.
Would you agree or disagree?
I would think so. I wouldn't say maybe like toxic, but there's definitely traits that like that you can develop and could lead to issues like later on in life. I guess I can just say for myself, like the one thing that I I guess was born and raised to do was to always like talk back to people.
So you're confrontational.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know you're confrontational.
I
boy.
can be.
This man's a pit bull.
Yeah. So that's just something that I was like born and raised with, and like I think that's an issue now because like it could. Looking into my past, I think it led me to like some arguments that I didn't need to have if I was like more calm and like thought things through.
Okay. Ladies.
I think for me, it's like I've never seen, like, even with like my grandma, my aunts, my mom, like a good father figure or like a stable relationship, So that kind of like affects my relationship and like the views on marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I think I have some toxic tendencies, but I think it took me a long time to realize it.
Okay.
Like, I was aware of it, but it took me a while to realize, like, okay, I need to actually fix this. It's like, I think mine is like self-sabotage. And that affects my relationships too, because I'm like in over my head. And then that ruins like the relationship.
Okay. Speaking of self-sabotage, Erica, I want to come back to something you said earlier about marriage. We'll come back to that though, but I want to address this one real quick. Have you ever heard that they say the self-sabotage is the reason why people do that is because internally, a lot of people are control freaks. Okay. You always want to control the outcomes of your life and how things play out. When you self-sabotage, you feel like you're out of control of the situation, and you feel that that person that you may be romantically interested with, they may potentially leave you, okay? And it triggers a fear of abandonment. And so a lot of times what they say is, if you are somebody who self-sabotage, that means that you are uncomfortable with knowing of the uncertainty within, I guess, a situation of whether or not it's gonna last or whether it's gonna keep going. And because you guys are uncertain about that, people, whether you're guys or females, you self-sabotage because in that way you can determine the outcome of that situation. You guys ever heard that?
Yeah.
So do you think that that is valid, that people, or maybe in your case, that you self-sabotage intentionally in order for you to basically be in control?
Yeah. I think so.
Even if you did like them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because I think it's like the fear of like not knowing or out of my control.
Okay. I see. Okay. Thoughts?
I mean, I'm married.
Bro is married.
You run away.
I definitely can see what you're getting at, and like I feel like that, like just thinking of like my other friends and like that are in the same situation. I feel like that's definitely prevalent to them.
Okay. Have you since you are married 12 years now? Coming up in 12 years, right?
I'm not married for 12 years.
But relationship for
Yeah.
this
2010? Well, actually, I've known her since freshman year. So, like, official, let's just say 2010, so 13.
13. This
13
man's
years.
Hey, you take the award for the longest relationship that I know. Right? So, think about it. 2010, dang. I was just entering college. But anyways, so do you think that in that long-term experience in the 13 years, did you ever try to self-sabotage that type of relationship?
I don't think so.
Okay. What you,
Not for me.
Erica? Has self-sabotage something that happens to you? All the time?
All the time.
No, like I feel like I do because like the whole marriage thing, I'm just like, I don't know, it scares me, the idea of like marriage.
Okay.
I have a question, kind of circling back. There's two things that I'm kind of interested. You said you were basically taught to talk back. How does that work? I'm generally curious. When I was a kid and I talked back, I got backhanded or like spanked. Like, so I was like, all right, I shouldn't talk back, or I don't want my butt. I don't want to hurt to sit. Essentially. So
Yeah.
for you, how do you basically get trained to talk back?
So I guess this is like I gotta spill the beans, but essentially my mom and my dad are divorced. And for the early part of my years, I lived with my dad. He was not really there. And then I kind of, got the courage to tell him that I wanted to move in with my mom because, he wasn't there. And so I think around like 10, me and my sister moved in with my mom. But those early years were really bad, like for me and my sister. My dad remarried, and basically, like, my stepmom was not like a good stepmom to me. And so I kept telling my mom, like, yo, like, I don't like my stepmom. My dad's never there. And my mom was just like, yeah, if she's treating you this way and that way, like, just talk back to her.
Oh,
And so,
Mama Mama
yeah, so my mom was just like, yo, like, don't put up with that stuff. Like, say what you have to say. Like, and that's, for me, like, I think the one thing is that, living with my mom and her teaching me that, I never had somebody like restricting me or like punishing me for like that action. And like, I feel really, really bad for like, for saying this, but like my mom definitely taught me, and like that kind of carried over like later on in my life. Like I used to talk back to my mom still. And obviously I didn't have that father figure to punish me for like talking to her like that. But I like reflecting on that, like as I've grown up, like I've realized like, obviously I shouldn't like talk to people sometimes the way that I talk to people.
Maturity.
well, at least you know.
Yeah.
At least you know.
Yeah.
So, and then Erica, you said your grandma, your aunt, and your mom, you've never seen a stable.
Well, I have a stepdad, but like,
Okay.
he's awesome because
Okay.
he's been there. But like,
Okay.
I've never like, my aunt has been married. I've never seen my uncle though, but then they divorced. My grandma never met my grandpa.
Wait. Did he also divorce, or he just like?
My grandpa passed away.
Okay, he passed. Okay.
But yeah, so I've never seen I've always seen like independent women.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
Okay.
growing up.
You with that Beyonce snap. All my single ladies. I got you.
So Erica, you're a strong, independent woman.
I don't know about that, but yeah, I just think marriage scares me, and like my dad, knowing like everything he's done, kind of just like he wasn't the best dad.
That was what I want to bring up when I said I come back to you. I want to talk, want to address that marriage issue. How do you think that the broken home affects your viewpoint on marriage? Because you said about self-sabotage, marriage. Care to elaborate on that? No? Okay.
To say.
Go ahead.
I think my view on marriage is like kind of skewed too. I kind of agree with Erica in a way, because like my parents loved each other, but like sometimes it just didn't seem like it was enough. Or like my dad was like sick, physically and mentally, and so it just was like, I don't know. It from my viewpoint, I only saw my dad like the first 9 years, but it was like, do they love each other? Like it just like, as a kid, you're like, you think, oh, or you see in the movies like they're just like people in love, but I just didn't really see it. So it's kind of makes me think like, or like growing up, like, dang, is that something I want, or is that even real? You know, I don't know. If that makes sense, but.
Okay. So, Mr. Wu, Mr. Only one that's actually married here. I love.
He's in love.
So I'll say this, like, for me, obviously I'm married. I guess growing up, like seeing like this, like, I don't know if it's the right term, distraughtness of like my home and like between my mom and my dad and like divorce and all the other drama that came with it, like it made me want to like be in like in a happy family. Like,
Okay.
I didn't want like my kids to deal with what like I had to deal with.
Okay.
Besides like the kids part, For me, I just wanted to be happy, you know?
Okay.
Obviously, like, people can see it in a negative way and, like, always question it. But for me, it was just always, like, I want to find the right person to be happy with and, like, to have a family with.
But you're an anomaly.
I don't know.
Because you found her with great birth.
Hey man, there's two people like we know. Like there's him and there's Marla.
True.
Think about that.
Yeah.
This it's not an anomaly if there's like two in one friend circle.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
But